Before we start this video, I would like to take this moment to give my deepest condolences to the family of Michael Brennan. For those who don't know, this guy is a legend to the Warframe community and the very first art director of Warframe, which brought us some of the most iconic designs that we currently are enjoying in the game. To name a few, he is involved in making the art designs for all Prime Warframes, beginning from Excalibur Prime up until Oberon Prime, which was the Warframe that got me into playing this game. He also designed Excalibur Umbra, Hildren Prime, and one of my personal favorites, Nidus Prime. Then he is also involved in bringing us the first ever heirloom skins for both Frost and Mag. Also, he's involved in developing the upcoming Rhino heirloom, which is a true masterpiece by design, and I know that many of you are looking forward also for this upcoming heirloom skins slated for release next year. His work will forever be immortalized in Warframe, and I know that Michael is in a better place now, watching over us, smiling while seeing us enjoy his work. So, our topic for today is all about Rhino, and I was really excited on maxing out my build for Rhino since he will be getting an heirloom skin next year. But aside from that, the main reason why I started playing Rhino is because finally I perfected my solo farming build for this Warframe. Before we get into details, I would just like to say that this build cripples the crowd control of the Warframe, as we will be replacing his fourth ability with a subsume skill. This build is more towards insane survivability and DPS, which makes the Warframe superb even in Steel Path and beyond levels. Finally, this build is perfect for solo, since we will most likely be relying on his overguard mechanic from Iron Skin to survive, and if you want to get millions of overguard easy, then one requirement is playing it solo or playing with your friends who will give you ample time to set up and get overguard from Iron Skin. First, let's take a look at my Rhino build. To get the highest possible overguard from Iron Skin, I have included a lot of power strength, armor, and the two most important augment mods, the Ironclad Charge and the Iron Shrapnel. The Ironclad Charge gives you an armor increase buff for a set duration. The buff depends on how much power strength you have in your build and how many enemies you hit with your first ability. This is why it's best to have a grouping mechanic like the Magus Anomaly Arcane for your operator to get the best armor increase bonus as much as possible. With the 30 meters pulling mechanic of Magus Anomaly, you can group enemies in one spot, and this will give you possibly 1,000, 2,000, or even more armor increase from the Ironclad Charge augment. And then the Iron Shrapnel augment allows you to recast your Iron Skin whenever you want. This also deals decent damage to enemies, but its main purpose is to allow Rhino to recast Iron Skin whenever you want to get more overguard values from the ability. And the best part is, we can further push the overguard values of Iron Skin easily right now after the recent update. In the past, I was just going with the usual build for lots of power strength, and in fact, I did add more power strength bonus through the helmet system. This was all 5 red Tau forged red Archon shards, but I decided to add Emerald now, and I will discuss why later. For now, I would like you to know that it's better removing some power strength and going with the Mecha set, which grants more armor bonus to your Warframe and turns it to more overguard through the Iron Skin ability. Take note that you can pump more armor bonus on this build by replacing Arcane Energize with Arcane Eater that grants you more armor. Arcane Guardian also works, but it's unreliable due to the fact that it will not activate while your overguard is active. Then finally on the Rhino build, you can go with Arcane Battery, which grants you almost always 1,000 energy. I'll be honest and say that in the past, I was struggling with energy to cast Rhino's abilities, and I always picked the right moment to get millions of overguard. Arcane Battery is a blessing to this build, and as I can just enjoy all the abilities I have in my Rhino without worrying about energy economy. And of course, Nourish makes energy economy better, as the energy ore pickups does increase its energy restore once Nourish is active. Not to mention that this subsume ability also adds viral to my favorite weapon that I am using with Rhino right now. Before proceeding to the Incarnatorial build, I would like to discuss first why you should use the Chest of Kubra for this Rhino setup. It's really very simple, and this is because of the Retriever mod that grants either credit or resource booster, or both if you have the Loyal Retriever equipped. Then the Chest of Kubra also has the Retrieve Precept mod that works like Necros Desecrate and will also give you extra loot gain from a corpse. Long story short, we will not be calling this as a farming Rhino build without the Chest of Kubra. Also be sure to add Mecha Recharge on the companion, then the Mecha Overdrive on the weapon. This completes the 30 meters range, which allows you to nuke with Mecha Empowered when you kill a marked target with damage over time. And of course, the range also increases the number of enemies affected by Mecha Pulse, hence allowing you to get more armor bonus from the mod. Lastly, let's talk about the DPS side of this build. For this case, I go with my personal favorite Incarnatorial modded with Corrosive and Heat. Now, you might remember I have included a Tau forged version of Emerald Archon Shard, and that shard was intended intended for this weapon. This will inflict 13 stacks of corrosive, which then makes the damage type do more damage to enemies. This is why I did not completely remove the armor of enemies with 2 Emerald Arc and Shard, as aside from corrosive, heat will also do more damage against armored enemies. Also, heat is really potent with Rhino, since Roar does boost the DPS of any damage over time in the game. It's also perfectly paired with faction mod, so if still don't have a Riven, then you can place a faction mod in your Incarnate Torrid on this slot. For the evolution, I have Final Fusillade for the second evolution to increase its base damage and give multi-shot on the normal last shot of the gun. For its third evolution, I pick Renewed Honor. This is just a personal choice as I like the lingering effect, especially against Steel Path Acolyte units. Just a quick tip, the normal fire of Incarnate Torrid will melt Acolytes faster compared to its incarnate form. And finally, I picked the increased critical chance for the last evolution, but you can always go with Survivor's Edge that grants base critical and status chance boost. This perk is perfect if you have a good critical chance Riven, which allows you to maintain the red crit and benefit from the base status chance upgrade. So, that's all about it. The rest of the video is my current drip, which is a Kamen Rider Rhino fashion frame. If you care, then you can watch all the attachments and colors I used for this fashion frame. Before leaving, we humbly ask for your support by simply liking the video and sharing your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, please consider subscribing and turning on all notifications so you will get updated on our latest uploads. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one.
Nailed it.